So we're here at 24/7 Lifestyle. I'm James Kennedy, and we're here today with the fabulous and the fantastic singer and all-round legend, Sydney Joe Jackson. How the hell are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. All the better for seeing yourself. We got loads I want to talk to you about today. So first, I think for the people who don't know you, the three
Yeah.
people, the three dumbasses who don't already know of you, um, what's the background? What's the lowdown? Where you from? What's your journey? What's happening?
So I'm originally from Birmingham, a beautiful place that people might know of. It's really sunny there. It's beautiful. All the people are really friendly. Best place in the world. No crime. Fabulous. So I'm from Brum. I lived there for many, many years, and then I moved around and went to London. And I went to a stage school out in London. Was there for a little while, and been between, I guess, London, America, and Asia for the last kind of 20 years. And yeah, so that's kind of where I've been located. I do go back to Birmingham now and again because they've got the best fish and chips. I'm sorry, but they are the hands down, and the best kebabs. Actually, they're actually pretty good at that. So yeah, I travel around. I'm currently in Bali at the moment. And yeah, I'm just doing my music here, which is my own project. Finally, I used to do a lot of dance music, so this is my own soul, Motown, jazzy, commercial pop project.
Living the dream, man. You were living the dream, honestly. I mean, why you would ever want to leave Birmingham, I have got no idea, but you're in Bali, so I suppose you take what you can get, I suppose, but
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm scraping the barrel out here. No, it's good.
just to put it out there, no shade on Birmingham on my part. We've got some gigs coming up at Birmingham. I love the
You know
place,
what?
right?
Listen, I would take the mick out of Brum, right? Because everyone's always like your accent's so like hidden, but Birmingham, especially Wolverhampton,
Yeah.
Wolverhampton is one of my favorite places. So I can't even try and pretend. I just pretend that I'm like, oh, it's not cool, but really, I'm there like every Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I'm currently in Newport, South Wales, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah, very similar vibe, if you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah. I get it.
Well, Bali, we all know that's stunning and beautiful. So, you're doing your own tunes now, which is amazing. So let's talk about that, man. What's happening right now? What have you got coming up? What are you promoting?
So I've got a song called "Good at Goodbye," which is a duet with a guy called Dre Hennock, and Dre is Indonesian, and the guy that did the beat, the producer, is called Jonas, and he's from Germany actually. So it's really nice. It's a really cool mix. You got a girl from Birmingham, you got a producer from Germany, you got a lad from Indonesia. We've all jumped on this record, and it's a bit of a love song. So I wrote it originally, and I spoke to my mom. I sent it to her on a voice note, and I was like, "Do you like this song?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's all right," and that. And I'm like, all right, okay, cool, thanks. And she's like, do you know what'd be really good? And I'm like, what? And then she's like, if you did a duet. And I'm like, with who? Who do I just like find it? Like, hey, just want to fancy just singing. So I was like, okay. I was like, okay, good idea. And I remembered that I'm Bingin Beach, which is in Uluwatu here in Bali, and I'd met this singer called Dre. And his voice had like captivated me, his tone and everything. And I remember speaking to him. So I just dropped him a DM and I was like, hi, I hope you don't mind me creeping the DMs, but I think you're really cool and I'd love you to like listen to this record that I've got. And if you're down, like I'd love for you to sing a bit on it. And he was just like, yeah, go on, send it to us. And I sent it to him and then he said, yeah, I'm down. And I was like, okay. And then within 3 days, I had him in the studio.
Wow. The power of the
Yeah.
DMs. That happens so often, doesn't it? And people think like, oh, I won't bother doing that. I don't want to pester people or they're never going to read it. And it really does work.
No, the DM was honestly like I love a good DM. I slide in everybody's DMs and then I continue and then I start liking every post and that putting comments like flames.
That's you, right?
Yeah, flame. It's like check the DM.
Love it. Well, you can't knock the hustle, man. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, right? So, yeah, that's amazing. So, I mean, when did you start your journey in the music business then?
I've been knocking around a little while. So I started quite early on. I went to a stage school, and that was interesting because I'd grown up in Birmingham, and a lot of the culture that I was around was like R&B music more so than anything, and soul music. So to go to London and kind of be part of a community that was more musical theatre based
Right.
was interesting. So that was when I was like what 17. few years ago. And yeah, I just was like, okay, this isn't for me, because as much as it was amazing to try and be on musical theatre and stuff, my voice doesn't really work for the like the hill, the Hills Are Alive or The Sound of Music. It just
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
fit into all that kind of thing. And I was trying, and I just found it like really eroding at who I was. Like deep down, I love to sing, like, Mary J. Blige. I was a big fan of 702. I was a big fan of like Tracy Chapman, Phil Collins. These sort of people are not dancing around on stage giving you
yeah.
what to do. So I was like, I'm going to leave that. And I've been doing it for a while. I was in a load of girl groups that didn't do anything. But then actually, these girl groups have actually got some successful people. And there's actually a couple of people that are famous right now that I was in groups with,
Really?
which is really quite cool.
Wow.
And then yeah, I just was knocking around a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I did the same old audition for like Girls Aloud. If you remember, like Girls Aloud,
Right. Yep.
was it X Factor?
Yep.
Clearly didn't get through because here I am. not
More
Girls
fool
Aloud.
them, dude. More
Yeah,
fool them.
more
You're in
for
Bali
me.
doing your own
Yeah.
record, crushing it.
But I've been here, I've been around for a while, and just been doing all different types of music, and was in the States working on music which was more kind of pop orientated. It was a bit more like Rihanna-esque stuff, and it was really great. But I never really was able to showcase my voice or like my songwriting talents. They just kind of would put upon me with other
Right.
people's music influence. So I didn't really feel that it felt right for me. So I guess my whole embodiment, and it just didn't work out. It didn't
Right.
align. Whereas now I came to Bali, which was for a holiday, found a dog, as you do, and
Okay.
did this dog, and this dog made Bali a base. So it's made it at least somewhere that I'm working from. And from there, I was like, okay, I feel calm, I feel peace. And I just started challenging myself to write a song a day, and started doing that. And then I remembered I'd met a bunch of musicians because I was always knocking around the scene, watching all these live bands, and just was like, I'm going to make this EP. I'm just going to go to the studio. There's no pressure, nothing on me. So I did 10 days locked in the studio with this 5-piece band, all live, and wrote these songs that you're hearing.
That's amazing. And how long ago was that?
It was like 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah, it was like two
Oh,
months ago. So it's, well, yeah, no, actually three months ago. Yeah, it was 3 months ago that I did that. So we did 8 songs then, and then recently I've just been working with them again on new material. I just find it so easy to work with them.
right, right.
Uh, like the UK's got amazing musicians, America phenomenal, and I've always been captivated by live music. I think it's just phenomenal. Just to be able to sit in a studio and have somebody jam, and you start writing, and you're like, yeah, put the bass, do the drums, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like what,
yeah.
So to have that experience that I've had in London and America now translate over here, I just can't get enough of it. I think I'm a bit
Oh,
hooked.
mate,
You're in a band, so
mate.
you
Oh, 100%. Well,
know.
how long have you been in Bali then? Just to put a kind of a time frame together.
So I've been here probably now like 9 months, seven, no, no, 9, yes.
Wow. So this is like the whole new era for you then, new location. Like that's not a long time, really, is it? And then to be working with new guys, putting a new record together, doing your own thing with the sound that you want. That's a lot of firsts in a short space of time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And again, that's why I love it, because I've never felt so centered with music. I have a real issue with my voice, and I have an issue with the way my voice sounds, and I'm really self-conscious about it.
Okay.
And yeah, and I think when I say an issue, it's just something I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I've always grown up and been kind of embarrassed about my voice, or been told it's weird, or it's got a strange tone.
Is it because of
So
that the huskiness? Is that the issue?
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the like I don't know what it is. I don't know, but I try and put it into a record and make it sound all right. Some people like it, some people are, what's going on over there. so,
Well, I didn't notice any of that when I was listening to your tunes, too. But yeah, like the husky, soulful vibe, I love that stuff, and so do loads of people. I mean, that's a quality to your voice that makes it unique, that makes it you, isn't it?
but yeah, I hope so. And that's what I'm saying. But I grew up like, when I was in Birmingham, like I said, it was not an issue because it was something that I'd sit on the street and sing with people that were just singing R&B, and just it wasn't a problem. The second I went to the London stage school, they were really hammering it out of me. They were like, this doesn't work, and
Yeah.
you glottal your throat a lot, and maybe I do, and maybe I do. And I was like, okay, but then I got really self-conscious on just singing, because I couldn't sing all this like I was like, oh my god, like what like, so I just kind of became a bit reclusive in what I can do. And I think from being in Bali, honestly, I know that everyone comes here like eat, love, pray, or whatever it is, that I didn't come here for that. I just came to get a bit of sun. And then I've ended up sitting here and just being like falling back in love with music completely, and being like, I was doing a lot of dance music, which was great and fun. And I was doing that honestly. I mean, I speak so candidly and openly about dance music. I did it just because I wanted to get in the industry and I couldn't work out how to get in. So I just thought, all right, let them sample my voice in a bunch of tracks.
Yeah.
As a hard, I know I shouldn't say it, but as harsh as it is, I was like, yeah, just like use my voice, go on, and let me get through the door because
Yeah.
I
Why not?
need to get through the door. And
Why
if
not? It's hard. It's real hard, man. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, you got the talent and the work ethic, and you got to have hustle too, though. You know what I mean? Which you clearly got.
Yeah, of course, and I did some songs that I loved, but again, it's not I'm ashamed of the stuff that I did because it's good and it's all right. But I think I didn't like, I got when it for me was the end of it was when I sat in a session and someone said to me, we got to write songs that are like nursery rhymes, and I just went, what? And they were like, yeah, you got to write these songs because
Right.
people are stupid and they just want to hear things that they can repeat. And I was like, I don't listen to music like that. Like, if something sounds like that, I'm turning it off.
Yeah.
I want to engage and I want to switch on and I want to fantasize and I want to go into like something that's I can remember. I want it to touch on a core memory for me. I don't want to sit down and just be idle, like I'm
Yes.
doing washing up and just singing
Yeah.
something on repeat. So I just was like that for me. I was just like a real turning point where I was like, I don't actually want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
As much as it's great standing around pretending and advertising these things, it doesn't feel good to my soul. I'm doing these gigs where no one gives a damn about what you're actually saying. They just are off a
Yeah.
bait.
Yeah.
so so I wanted something a bit deeper.
Well, it sounds like you found it, man. I mean, the reason I ask, and I like your journey kind of encapsulates this perfectly. I wanted to ask you, like, when you got in the game, because I'm guessing from what you're describing that you've had some experience in the old model of the music industry. The days of gatekeepers and CDs in jiffy bags to record labels and A&R guys and stuff like that. And obviously now crushing it in the new model. I'm guessing you're doing this independently as well, doing your own thing on your own terms, doing the music you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it. So, like myself, I've tried to traverse both those sides of the industry, the old and the new. I got my opinions on it, but I'd love to know what you think. Do you think it's better now, easier for people like us to do what we want to do our way? Or do you think we've lost something with the death of the old industry model?
So I honestly think that it's great that we have a platform, we have multiple platforms right now where people can be showcased. Because music industry was basically on, it's a rich people's game. I always say this for exposure, right? If you want to be exposed, you got to have a bit of money to put behind the campaign. You got to be seen in the right places. You got to have the right content. You got to look right. That don't happen if you live in the dole and you ain't got no money and no one's supporting you. It's hard, and you're
Yeah,
just sitting in your room writing a song. So at least like these platforms give you the position to be able to have no money and put yourself into a position where you potentially can be seen. The downfall of that is I think that people have begun to gravitate more to things that are sort of gimmicky and things that sell. So, for example, it's no longer based on. Okay, I use the Spice Girls for example. I always use Spice Girls because I love the Spice Girls. I grew up with them.
don't
There
we
was some
all? Yeah,
yeah, there was something that, and there were an entity for me that were so innovative and creative, and I could identify with them. And they built a brand and a world that I wanted to be part of,
yeah,
And it wasn't, and yes, okay, they were selling merchandise and stuff, but this is what I was like. I want to be like this. When I'm looking on TikTok and stuff, it's very transactional. So I see a lot of people living fake lives that they don't actually abide to. I see them selling things that they don't actually even do. And I think with the music, they give you things which is throwaway just to be viral, which for that so it's very to
yeah,
me it's very temporary, which
yeah,
is hard to establish a legacy and to be a long-term artist.
yeah,
Whereas when you look at like the old school music industry, the problems I had with that were it was gatekeeping. So there's only certain people. It was like being in school. You got to be in the popular group. You got to be part and parcel of those people that are doing those things. Because if you can't be seen, there wasn't TikTok, there wasn't Instagram. So unless you were friends with this person, that you were never going to get
yeah.
your CD. However, I feel like the talent pool there was higher because you had to, to get on top of the pops or to get alive and kicking and things like this, you had to be an act that could sing, could dance, could play instruments. It was important to do
Mm,
musical things.
yeah.
Now it's like I could just be an ice skater and I make a song that goes, I like to ice skate. I like to ice skate. And then all of a sudden, I'm the number one on the UK charts.
I think you
And
just made a viral clip right there.
yeah, there we go. My ice skating Danger, the ice skating song. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I don't know, I can't resonate with it all the time because it has its highs and lows for me.
I think you nailed it, dude. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I mean, the bad old days weren't that great either. Like you say, there was gatekeepers and there was, all the stuff that you just mentioned. And we get a lot of freedom these days to put together the music that we want to make on our own terms. But then the problem is that, like, not only the things you just described were the kind of like superficiality of it all, but also just the sheer amount of stuff, the noise that you've got to try and get like heard above a little bit, is so daunting for so many people. And social media being the primary medium that most people use now, I mean, it has changed the whole kind of day by day reality of most artists, hasn't it? Just to try and get genuine art out there on top of all this ice skating TikTok viral stuff you're talking about. What do you feel about that? Do you think it's worth fighting that fight, or do you think just do your thing and just be true to yourself and put it out there and keep trucking?
I think that you have to be aware of what's going on. Like you can't resist because if you resist, you're then invisible, right? So I feel like you have to have a level of complicity in this because, but
Right.
you have to be clever of how you do it, right? So it's not like, okay, I'm going to sell my soul on the internet because I want. It's like, okay, cool. People feel entitled to know what I've eaten for dinner, what I'm doing in my life. So you want to know this, but you're going to know it on my terms. So we're going to tell you my story on what I want to share with you. And I think that has to be, as an artist, it's something that you have to adapt to because it's otherwise, like I said, it's a case of being invisible and sitting there hoping, going, I'm not going to go on social media and I don't care if I've got three views. You do care because you need to crack on. And you know what I mean?
Right.
Like as much I have a real struggle with social media because I've sat recently and I'm like, I don't want to post. And I struggle with what to post because I used to model so I could put loads of modeling stuff up where I look like a catwalk model, but then I'm sitting in my room and I don't look like that. I've got toothpaste all over my face and I'm sat there and I've probably bloated and I've probably eaten two Burger Kings and a pizza. So I don't want to give the wrong impression to somebody that's looking at me going, oh, Sydney would do. No, Sydney's probably cried herself to sleep because her boyfriend ain't replied and she thinks he's with another man. So like that's probably what's happening. That's probably what's happening.
Right.
And I like to tell the truth because I think having an element of authenticity is what will create a fan base, and that's what creates people that are long term and not just going to buy a record for like or download your record for one song. They're going to be like, I want to see what she did today, or how's that song going? What did she write that song about the man that cheated on her with another man? Did she write that? Like that's then becomes to me how you can exploit social media to your benefit.
I love it, man. You're going to become my new guru. I found my guru. Yeah, no, you're totally right. You're totally right. I mean, you can still stay authentic to yourself and build that genuine human connection that I think people are actually yearning for. Because I think everyone is in this doom scrolling, like false reality, and I think we all know deep down that it's bullshit, right? So I mean, like to find something that you genuinely connect with on a human level that touches your soul, I think is a very powerful use of these platforms. So I think, yeah, I think you're bang on.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. Like I said, it's a great place to explore, to find new music. Especially for me, I love it to find new music, find new artists. When I see things that are curate, I mean, I've been, like I said, probably like yourself, we've seen a lot of things, so I can read it straight away whether a song or somebody isn't true to what they're saying, or they're sitting there being like, I've been into rock and roll. So no, you haven't. You weren't. Don't lie. We're listening to Backstreet Boys 20 minutes ago. So, like I can read completely through it, and that kind of thing. I don't have tolerance and patience for that. I love real artistry. It's not for me about the numbers. It's about hearing. I really love rock music as well. I'm really started to like lean into this whole punk thing, and I've recently started to listen to a lot of Alanis Morissette and Evanescence, which is not
Yes.
soul. It's not soul music at
Yeah.
all. But I find that music is such a big mix of everything, right? It's not like I don't just sit there and go, right, I listen to Ella Fitzgerald or I listen to Aretha Franklin. That's all I can listen to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get inspiration from watching Alanis Morissette sing Ought to Know, and she's writhing around on the stage. I see the evanescence and I see the composure that they give before they start singing Bring Me to Life. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and I watch the crowd and I see these groups of people and I'm like, how can I get my people to look at me? Like, how can I perform like that? So I think you have to like be open to music is such a vast sound. You can't just go, I just listen to. I'm sure you listen. You're in a punk band, right? But I'm sure you
Yeah.
listen to pop music.
Oh, 100%. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Demi Lovato is my go-to, man. It's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. And you take probably inspiration from, you don't just want to be saturated all the time. I know it's a fantastic genre, but you don't just want to sit and just listen to nothing but punk music. How are you going to
God,
write
no.
something, you know? But I, and I think that, yeah, I think that that's real artistry, and that's what bleeds out of people, out of real artists versus people that are just sat in their room going, I'm going to just write a song about a cat and hope that that goes viral.
Yeah,
And then that's all they can do, because then when you get the follow-up track, it's not the same, and then you go, oh, but I thought they meant this, or they were living this quirky life, and it's like, no, they weren't.
yeah,
And they just wanted just a bit of fame, and that's what they've got. And then it's very disappointing for me as a fan, as a listener, as a consumer, because then I'm like, oh, that world no longer exists, and that person's not part of like what I thought they were. So who now do I look to?
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think your perspective on this is bang on. It's very balanced, and you're making me feel a lot more optimistic about it all now, man. So I thank you for that. Um, so, how are you doing things then? Are you doing this independently? Are you working with a label? Are you licensing, or are you just doing it all on your own terms?
So at the moment, I'm just doing it all on my own terms. I've been a bit crazy with the stuff. It's funny, I was talking to the manager the other day, because I have a manager who's absolutely lovely, and he tries. You see, the thing is with me, I've got so many ideas, and I need somebody who can align me and go, Sydney, like, what the hell are you doing? Um, he's perfect for that. But I'm releasing everything independently right now. I'm doing music that I like, which sometimes can be crazy. So when you said punk, I've just done a song that's a follow-up song to Good at Goodbye, which is called Shouldn't Do That, and it's a punk record.
Nice.
It's really, really punk, and it's like a full rocking out screaming section happens at the end.
Yeah, man. Like it.
Yeah, and he listened to it and he was like, "That's really like a rock song." Like, and I'm like, and he's like, "And your other stuff's really soul." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but this is how I'm a Gemini. Like, this is how I feel, and this is kind of like what I like." And I feel like I can't really give that emotion and scream in the middle of a soul song because it doesn't
Yeah,
sound correct.
yeah,
Um, So yeah, everything's independent. I love it because I can be creative. I love it because I can get all my friends involved. No one's telling me you can't do this. No one's charging me 50 grand to go in the studio to work with a
yes,
producer.
yeah.
Uh, my producers are all established, and they've all worked with really well-known people. So even if they weren't, it wouldn't matter. But I can sit there and I can go, nah, it's all right. I can get my boy to do it. He just worked with, Steph London, or I can get my boy to do it. He just worked with Rihanna. So it's like, I love that. I love the fact that I've got such an amazing, kind network that I'm lucky to tap into.
That's awesome. It sounds like you've hit the jackpot, dude. I mean, and you've worked hard as well, and I'm sure you've had your trials and tribulations and ups and downs. But it seems as if you've found your sweet spot now. You're surrounded by good people, which is very hard to do in this business, isn't it? And you're doing the music that you want to do on your own terms in sunny Bali. So I mean, like, I think you're ticking all the boxes right now, man.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
The journey paid off, dude.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying.
Well, I'd love to get your perspective on something else before we get back to plugging you and the new tunes that are coming up. We've talked about the business. It sounds as if you're in a very good place right now, but the downside, I think, to the independent model is the toll that it can take on the 24/7 juggling of 10 different jobs. You know, it's n no longer enough for an artist to just be a pure artist. You know, they have to be a graphic designer, and they have to be, on camera, and they have to be doing, social media and all these things. And that does take a toll on one's mental health. And we know that mental health is an issue in this business. How do you manage that? Do you have a system for balancing that and keeping yourself on an even keel? Because you seem now today, you seem as if you're in a pretty good space. But do you have your struggles still with that pressure?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, but if I didn't have my mom, I think I'd probably lose my mind, because my mom deals with all my stuff. Like, she has to constantly remind me that this is a job, even though I go, what job? What? I'm not getting paid. A job? What? Like, I'm not getting a promotion. I don't see myself at the Grammys. She's like, all right, well, listen, like I said, I struggle a lot with being on camera, and that's hard. I guess it's weird, right? Because I model and I've sang and I've done a lot of backing dancing for huge pop stars, and I've done adverts internationally. However, coming on TikTok and Instagram and opening myself up to people being negative and things that I've got to read, and letting that penetrate me when I'm waking up and there's a person, like, someone's perceived me in a certain way that I'm not, and then reading something that's negative, yeah, it can affect my day. And it can erode up my confidence, and I sit down and I question what I'm doing, because I find that when I'm doing the editing and I'm trying to work out how to put this together, and I don't know how to put the music on, and I'm not that savvy with CapCut, I panic, and I'm like, I'm a loser, I'm a failure. But then I find the positives in this and the strength is I'm learning. When you're uncomfortable, you're learning, right? So I'm super uncomfortable in that place. And when I sit down and I focus and I go, okay, right, well, ain't no one else going to do it for you, Sid. You want that video up, you better learn how to do CapCut then, right? Because unless you're going to pay for it, which you ain't got the money for, the video's not going to come out. So you again are sitting and being invisible. And I'm really with this like having to be seen and being invisible thing and just putting up videos of me singing, of me doing whatever. I'm doing it on TikTok all the time. I've recently started this month. I'm posting like 3-4 times a day, and I just put the videos up and I just go away from. And I don't read the comments, which is bad. And I've only started reading the comments this week because I'm like, I can only tolerate so much of like having, even if it's beautiful comments that people are like, oh, I love you and this and that. It's lovely and that, but sometimes I'm just like a bit awkward with it, and I'm like, all right, cool. I just want to put the music up, like enjoy the song or don't like that song. You don't just talk to me. I don't care if you like my hair. Thanks for liking my hair. I don't care if you think I'm fat. Thanks for thinking I'm fat. Like, just enjoy the song. If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But it's definitely, I meant when you said mental health, I mean, that really resonates with me because I find that everyone that music it is such a struggle because you are up all the time to tell you that sucks, and you have to have like a bigger vision for yourself and a bigger picture and a self-belief, which is a level of delusion. And
Right.
that's what I'm really falling into right now. Like I'm like putting on my TikTok, I'm like, this is the best TikTok ever, and it's me brushing my teeth, and I'm like, this is like this is brilliant, fantastic content, Sydney. And I've got to give myself that because there's somebody else that's doing it who's not as good as me, who's more successful than me.
Yeah, right.
So you have to give yourself the right to be seen and the right to be great, because when we sit in our rooms and play our music and we go, oh, this is actually really cool. That was me singing, or that's me playing drums, or that's me on guitar. That's pretty cool, but we don't show anybody. We are our own worst enemies because we'll go, no, actually, I could have done that better. Actually, I could have sang that better. So you're better off just putting it out, letting it go, and better to do it wrong and work on it from that point than not do it at all. That's where.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, no, you've got a great perspective on these things, man. And how do you, I mean, that's obviously in itself very powerful for anyone like other artists listening to this who are also battling with these same sort of, pressures and stuff. How do you personally then manage balance? It sounds like you've got a good team around you. I'm guessing that's important. You're tight with your mother as well. Is there anything else that you do as well, just on the human level to keep yourself, fairly on the straight and narrow with all the pressures of this mad world that you live in?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, when you say I've got good people around me, I'm very fortunate that I'm in Bali now, that I've got great people who support me in that. And I've got a couple of friends from the UK that are good. But do I have good people around me all the time? No. Do I have people that try and take from me all the time? Yes. Do I have people that are taxing on my mental health and that take from me, that expect me to do something because they like a video that I've made, so now they want me to give them the videographer, they want me to help them come up with the creative direction behind that, or they want me to write a song because they like the song. Like, I don't have a lot of people that come to me and give and go like, oh, this would be good for you. Like they always go, how can you help? How can you? And I'm like, oh, sometimes, and I've had to start putting in boundaries, and the boundaries have to come in because I realize I'm lying in my bed crying, going like, I can't do this. I'm exhausted. I've got to, look after my dog. My dog's a rescue dog. She's sick. I've got to look after my mum. My mum's disabled. I've got to speak to her. Like, I've got to write this song. I've got to be in the studio. I've got to make sure the band are doing what I've got to do. I've got to creative direct my own videos that's got to do. I've then got to speak to my manager about how we're going to put this. Then I've got to work out how we're going to do this campaign. Where's the money coming from for who's paying for all this? And in the middle of that, I've got to go to the gym. I've got to work out. I've got to make sure I look good. I've got to be healthy. I've got to go to the beach and enjoy 5 minutes in the sun. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And I find that I'm just sitting down, giving to other people. Like again, this is where the boundaries come in, responding to comments that might be negative. Why am I giving my time to that person? Don't know who that person is in my entire life. Why am I telling people, oh yeah, you need to put your song on this playlist and that? Google it, use ChatGPT. And I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not where I need to be right now. So when I get where I need to be, of course, I can do a TikTok on, hey, this is how I got to here. But right now I'm in my process. And unless you're going to add to what I'm doing, I can't just give. And then be depleted for myself. So I find that the way I balance that is I don't have my personal phone, but I don't respond. Like, there's not many people that can get hold of me on a personal level. Like, they're just not available. So I'm just not like, I'll respond, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good, thank you, hope you're doing well. That's it, end of conversation. They're doing, what tomorrow, not getting a response because I'm literally tomorrow I've got 50,000 things to do and I can't fit you into my agenda. And that's not me being horrible. It's just I've got to be successful myself because I spent too long doing other people's ideas, doing other people's things, and giving away everything that I'm now almost, at a situation where if I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
Love it.
Basically.
I love it. You've got a great outlook, man. Honestly, yeah. Like I think you've got a really healthy outlook. I mean, the workload is obviously it is what it is. There's nothing we could do about that, is there? But I mean, if you're keeping boundaries in place and you've got certain things as well that are keeping you, looking after you as a human being rather than a
Yeah,
human doing is very important,
yeah,
So it sounds as if your journey's been one that, has crafted you into where you're at now, which is both amazing on the one hand, clearly a lot of work on the other, but it sounds as if it's put you in the headspace experience-wise where you're able to navigate it quite well by the sounds of it.
it is. Yeah, I mean, finally. So I'm not ignoring you. I'm just someone's trying to like ring my phone. I'm like, go away.
Go away,
Um,
man.
so I'm like that. Go away. Yeah, like I am. I do feel definitely in a better headspace. There was a time where I wasn't in such a great headspace, and I think that is also really reflective because you have to reach the rock bottom,
Right,
And I'm
yeah,
not even hit the rock bottom, but I've been pretty close to it, and that is not somewhere that I want to be again. So I've made things in my life choices, and it's not just down to the people I have around me. It's down to what I engage with on social media. It's down to what I consume food. It's down to
right,
where I spend my time. Because I was giving, like I said, I'd do things, I'd go to parties that I don't want to be at, and I'd
right,
sit there and do things that I don't really want to engage in because I thought that it was needed and necessary, um, to be liked and to get further in things. And it's just not. I just, like I said, it erodes at your soul. And you come home depleted, and then you're
right.
sat down a week to recover from. I'm not just talking about going on a bender. I'm just talking about mentally
Yeah,
to recover
yeah,
and
yeah.
build yourself up, you know. And
You got a
that's
lot of wisdom, man.
oh, thanks.
I'm taking notes here for myself, you know what I mean?
It's hard.
Well,
It's hard. It's a hard journey.
but you're a survivor, clearly, and I'm glad to see that you're at the point now where you're thriving and doing what the hell you want to do on your terms. And I want to get back to that because you talked about give, give, give. Well, you've given a hell of a lot in the interview today. So let's get back to talking about you and putting out there, telling the guys what you've got coming up, what's happening. Let's get back talking about this song. So when does the
Yeah.
song drop? It's not out yet, is it?
No, it's coming out on 12th of September.
12th of September. Available everywhere?
Yeah, it's gonna be all over the gaff. You can get it anywhere.
Right, cool, cool. Because I did the pre-save, so I got it coming.
Oh,
Um, and what's after that? What's next? What's the plans?
so we've got the song coming out. So it's me and Dre, like I said, and we're releasing this tune. I'm just gonna see how it goes. It's a different kind of song to the stuff that I've normally done. Like I said, I'm just putting the music out because I want to enjoy, and I've got this eclectic mix that's coming out. So the song will come out, see how it does. It's got a PR campaign behind it, which is really
Nice.
cool. But it'll have some nice blogs and stuff. It should do anyway. Hopefully, if people like it. Then it will. If not, it'll be a waste of money. But that'll be awkward. But people should like it, and then it'll come out and it'll just live. And I think the reason why these songs are there, it's not to necessarily like go viral or whatever. It's just to make an imprint because I had done my dance music and it's to separate my
Right,
sound. So it's really important that I make music, and it's not like it's really not about. I don't care about the streams, to be honest with you. I just want to make sure that people establish my sound with the sound of the music that I'm focused on, and then for next year, the step is to start doing live and to do a
right,
bunch of, and that's what I've got lined up. So this year is, like I said, for me, this song coming out is just to live, and I really love it. I love the fact it's such a mix of people and sounds.
mm.
And yeah, I just that's what that is for me, basically, that tune.
So this is kind of you putting your flag down, saying, right, this is me. This is the new era. This is where we're going. Coming out the gates with full intention.
Yeah, precisely. It's like, I put out You Should Be Here, and that was really good. And I did some stuff for that I wrote it in Bali and ended up doing visuals for it in New York, which was really, really cool. And then did Stone Cold, which I wrote in Bali and did the visuals in Bali. And now I've got this, which is a mix and a crossover of everything.
Right,
And yeah, it's definitely to differentiate my sound because it's hard to establish, right? It's hard to go like, oh, this girl, not saying that I was super well known, but I was known in dance music, and I've got an alias that I've just created. Actually, there's a little alias that I still do dance music under,
right.
but this to me gives me a bit of freedom now because I can do this. And the funniest thing is, the one of the song that is under this alias. It's just got, I think it's almost got now like 1.5 million streams. And I looked on it this morning and I was like, oh really? Of course the song's got one point. I didn't even get 1.5 million streams on my song, Sydney Joe Jackson. But of course this has under this. But I love it. And I was saying to manager, I was like, look, do you know what? We should like release a load of other stuff under this because I can have as much freedom and be as weird as
Yes.
this. And
Yes.
it's like having another little and I'm loving it now. So now I'm like, all right, let's really put the Sydney Joe Jackson thing, and this is going to be curated like this. And then the other alias that I've got is going to be, we can do whatever, do any sort of song.
That is a great idea. That's genius because then it does, there's no confusion then. When people look at you, they want to check out the new stuff and they get the dance music and they're like, I might, is this the right artist? That's genius. Are you still getting the publishing though on the alias?
Yes,
Right,
100%. Yeah,
right.
100%. And I've got the alias has got the name under it and everything, and it's really cool. Like, you know, I've had lots of inquiries from big. I mean, the song that's coming out with it is with under the umbrella of Armin van Buren, who's a massive dance guy, and that's really exciting for me because I'm like, oh my god, this is really really cool. And it's not like I said, it's not like I didn't like dance, but I didn't like just being kept in that one bubble of being
Yeah,
told, well, this is now I've got freedom.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, I do like dance music, so I can do it. Like, it's not a problem. But now I can go back to being Sydney and do my Sydney project and fall in love with that as well. But
Dude,
still,
you're crushing it, man. You're crushing it.
do you know what? I laugh as well because my manager probably go mad about this, but I've done this song. He's probably going, why did you mention this in the interview? Right. So basically, I'm obviously in Bali right now, and there's a thing called Gojek, right? He's going to go nuts when he hears this. Right. Basically, there's a thing called Gojek, and it's a bike. It's a bike you get on. It's like an Uber bike, and they're really really cool. So I've made a song called Project Driver, which is very gimmicky, super gimmicky, and it's really like almost like the cheeky girls kind of vibe. It's really like
Like
it's,
it.
but I'm having so much fun, and I feel like with TikTok, it's creative again. It's not like you have to be very specific on
Yeah.
TikTok, you know, go viral for pictures, videos of their pets, right? So I said to him, I want to put this song out because I've got this really crazy, stupid pop idea in my head, and I'm putting it out, and it's really fun. So it's like my Spotify, yes, it's aligned for soul and this kind of style of music. My TikTok, you'll find everything from me talking about domestic violence to me talking about
Wow.
me talking about Gojek drivers to talking about me body, like to talking about me ex-boyfriend. It's to me like it's like the Big Brother. So it's like you get everything on that. My Instagram looks like it's a bit boring actually. Used to have half naked pictures all over it. I think it looked better then, but now it's a bit refined.
Well, we're going to plug the links before we leave because everyone's you've got tons coming up, so people need to know where they can find you and keep up with the journey coming up. So next year we got to look forward to some live shows. You're going to be coming over this way at all?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be in the UK. I'm going to be in the UK for June, July, and August. So I'll be doing like 3 months over there, doing a bunch of different shows, and then I'm doing a couple of stuff in Indonesia. So I'll be doing some of the festivals over here, and then a load of stuff in Amsterdam.
Wow, man, living a dream, dude. Well, people are going yeah, you got tons coming up then. Most importantly, the single, which is dropping in like 2 weeks' time, 12th of September, you said. So where can people find you on Instagram, TikTok, and any other platforms which you want people to know about?
So you can find me at Sydney Joe Jackson on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify. I'm there. Facebook. Can't find me on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn, but you can find
Why
me
the hell are you
everywhere.
not on LinkedIn? That's the most
Oh
important
no,
one.
it's LinkedIn. I don't know how to use it. You find
Does
me on
anyone even use LinkedIn? Sorry,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Also.
Well, Sydney, you've been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for giving us your time today. I know how crazy busy you are, and I wish you nothing but the best. I'm so happy to hear that you're finally sort of like in your place, doing your thing on your terms, and it sounds like it's going to be a wild ride coming up the next year and beyond. So I can't wait to follow the journey. I will be going straight over to the TikTok now and click and follow on all your socials as well. Everyone listening should please do the same. Go and pre-save the single. It's out in a few weeks. You're going to love it. Trust me. Sydney, I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much. And
Thank
hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Yes, thank you so much.
Best
Thank you.
wishes. We'll see you next
Thank you.
year.
See you later. Bye.
Bye bye.